Hey guys, it's Linux Next Year. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Cosmic Desktop. It has finally arrived at the first alpha release. It's really good to see that System 76 has been working on this new desktop environment, which if you don't know, that's what they've been doing for the last, I think, roughly 2 years of development. I've been listening to some of their podcasts and they said around like 2 years, I think it was, of cosmic development that has been put into this desktop environment so far. And they've decided to release their first release of Cosmic, which is a alpha version. Now it is alpha version 1, and so there is a lot of bugs, I would say, in this desktop. I'll explain further in the video, but I did want to show off the desktop and also my experience using it. And when it comes to other features like tiling and stuff like that, the tiling is awesome on this because I haven't really used tiling that much, and I actually missed the tiling feature in Pop! OS. So when I got to test out Cosmic, tiling was really cool on this desktop environment. But besides that, I am going to show the new features is what we're going to start off with. And if we just look at my laptop screen right now, this is what the default experience will look like with Cosmic. If I'm mirroring it on my laptop because I decided to install the alpha ISO yesterday, and I've been monkeying around with it, making sure that it's up to date so we get the latest patches from the System 76 team. And so far, the wallpaper, it looks okay. It's definitely not the best wallpaper, but it does fit the appeal of a Cosmic. I'm pretty sure this photo, I think, is taken from the James Webb telescope or by one of the other telescopes, and it is a nice looking photo, and it does, like I said, it does fit the theme. And so you might be saying, well, it kind of looks like GNOME, and well, you would be right. It is very similar to GNOME, except the dock is usually in the background, so you have to usually click super and then bring up the dock and then your workspaces and such and your apps as well. So really, this looks more towards the macOS type style. So you have a dock at the bottom, you have a panel at the top. So then on this panel, we have a bunch of applets, they like to call them. And with the applets, any developer can create their own applet. And this is what I like about Cosmic, is that System 76 is trying to make this, it can be used on any distro. So it can be used on Fedora, it can be used on Arch, like I've been doing. I've been running it on my Arch system. It can run on NixOS and plenty of other distros. And the fact that the applets are, well, anyone can make their own type of applet. So for example, there was one applet that was made where it was a AI bot. So you could just click on the applet of the AI chatbot, which was just using OLLAMA, I think it's called. It was using one of the models, and you can just click on it and you can just start typing and send a message to a AI model and it will reply to you. I thought that was really neat, and I did test it out and it did work really well. I don't have it installed right now, but you can go find it on it's on the AUR. You can find the GitHub repository for it, and it works extremely well, and that's what I like about it. Anyone can create these types of applets. If we do have a look here, these are what the applets are. So you have a power session you can click on and you restart, shut down, suspend, lock screen, log out. There's the Bluetooth, which all these applets do work properly. I connected my 8-bit DO controller through Bluetooth on here and it worked extremely well. And then you've got your messages, which you can do not disturb if you don't want messages or notifications to come through. And then you have your battery, which is pretty good, I would say. You got your different power options, and then you got your battery. So there's until empty, it's at 95% right now. I can increase the lifespan of your battery by setting a maximum charge value of 80%, and then also I can go into power, battery, and settings to look at some of the more options, which right now in power and battery, it's pretty basic, I would say. I have looked at some of the UI designs that they have made, and there is a lot more things that are going to be added to this power and battery option, and same with input devices and all the others. There's still so many features that need to be added that I've seen through their it's called IGMA website design UIs. It's way more things that are included in those features. And then you have the sound, which there was going to be a sound settings originally, I'm pretty beta, but they pushed it back to alpha 2. So right now, the only way to control your settings is through this applet, and it's very basic. You know, you select your output, you select your input, and you can show media controls on the top panel. So if you are playing some type of media, there will be a plays, pause, skip at the top of your panel, which I think is pretty neat also. And then you got the date and calendar, which is also pretty basic. It shows the date, shows, you know, the time at the top also, and then we can go into date, time, and calendar, and we can change, you know, your time zone. You can change it 24-hour time. You can change the first day of the week, show the date on top of panel. Very basic things currently that do work correctly. And then you got the region and language, which, as you can see, isn't available right now. And that's just one of the things you might see. You might be going around the settings and there might be some things missing, a lot of things missing, which, you know, for some certain use cases, people do actually need. And that's why I guess these applets like solve some of those use cases, like the sound or like switching your keyboard language as well. We can go into keyboard settings here or input devices, and this is where you can change all things on your keyboard. You can you know, do special character entry, you can do your keyboard shortcuts, and there's a bunch of options like alternate characters, like non, left alt, left super, right super, menu key, caps lock. There's also, you know, the compose key, right alt, the same type of thing where you can switch those around. You can change your typing as well. You can change the repeat delay, repeat rate, and then we can go to view and customize shortcuts, and this is where you can customize your keyboard shortcuts. Now I would say that this is still like a work in progress. There's a lot of things here where if you want to like change the shortcut, you have to type it manually, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, on GNOME, on KDE Plasma, I'm pretty sure you can just like, you know, do it on the keyboard that you want to do for the shortcut, and then it will just look at that and then apply it, so you don't have to type it manually. But for right now, you do have to type it manually, and it's not that hard. You just look through it, you look through some of the shortcuts that it's already said there, and you just kind of just copy what that's saying to the one you want to do, and then it should just work. And if you continue on the top of the panel here, we do have the applications button, which does bring up the applications launcher, which is also a bit of work in progress. And there is like one bug that I experienced on my desktop where you do scroll far enough down and it instantly closes when there's more apps below it. That's one bug that I've experienced throughout using Cosmic for about like 4 months or so. That's one bug, and I'm pretty sure it's already been reported, but I guess I'll show one bug that I have experienced right now. If you go to my desktop here is what I've been running, and as you can see, it's a dock on the bottom, basically with everything, kind of like a panel basically, or like a Windows taskbar type thing. But if you click on the applications here, you can see that my applications launcher won't launch. And how I made this happen was I was copying a shortcut. I can't remember what the shortcut was, or the application shortcut in the application launcher, and I was pulling it across. So you can pull it across. If I show here, if I go back to my recording, you can pull an icon across and you can put it into a different folder, right? And I tried to do that, and then the application launcher crashed, it seems, and I can't launch it. As you can see, if I go back here and I click on the application launcher, it just will not reappear. So that's one other bug that I have found, and it's not really an issue, and it'll probably get fixed. Someone else will probably find it. I'm probably it's already reported. I'll probably go check tonight as well to see if it's reported, and if not, then I guess I'll report it. As I have been maintaining one GitHub repo at the moment, which is for particularly for launching games, and I've been trying to test it on all different types of hardware to see which games work on the desktop environment, and then updating it so then the System 76 developers can look at it, and then they can do their own testing or whatever, and then try and fix it. And if we go back here to the top panel, we look at workspaces. Yeah, there you go. It brings up your workspaces. So there's only one workspace opened currently. If I do go to my like desktop here, I'm pretty sure there's two workspaces here, as you can see, and we can easily well, I guess that was one bug that has happened. I don't know if that was a bug, but I just clicked on my second workspace and it disappeared. That's one bug that just happened. That's pretty cool. But that is workspaces. And you can easily switch between between them. I know you can do that also. And then if we do go back to our laptop here, we have a look at the dock, which is at the bottom. It's pretty simple. When you do have a application opened and you decide to minimize that application, it's going to create a separate window, as you can see down the bottom of here. And we can remove this if you don't like that. You can actually just remove it. It's just a I'm pretty sure it's just an applet that is used on the dock, and you can just easily remove it in the desktop customization. But when you do a minimize an application, if we do it now, it minimizes into a little window, which I think is pretty cool. It's a different way of doing it instead of like on KDE Plasma and like GNOME, I think, or just KDE Plasma, where just minimizing an application doesn't do a separate window. It just minimizes it into the application. And then if we go through the other options that are on here, we do have the application launcher. As I said before, I've already launched this. It's pretty cool, pretty simple, mostly does the job. Has one like two little bugs that will probably get fixed down the road. And then there is also the Workspace button also, and then there's a search function. So very similar to what Pop! OS was like, where it's using like the similar icons for the search function also. And this is a great search function if you want to quickly launch something, like let's say like HTOP or something like that. It probably would launch if I select it, or not. I guess it won't launch. Okay, so we experienced another bug where it just won't launch HTOP, I guess. I guess we'll try something else like System Monitor. Okay, there you go. System Monitor decided to launch. That's great. You know, it does work most of the time. I guess it just couldn't launch HTOP for some reason. Maybe because it's like a CLI application. It has to launch a terminal and it maybe doesn't know how to do that. Who knows? But if we do look at some of the applications that are on here, that are pinned, that are the Cosmic applications, we can have a look at like the files, for example. So I would say files is the files application is also very feature incomplete. It has the majority of things to get things done and move things across and delete things and create new, probably like documents also. It's very just simple, new file, new folder, open a terminal, select all, paste, sort by name, sort by modified, sort by size. There's still a lot of things that need to be implemented. There's edit, there's view. It has most things that we'd think of. Off the top of my head right now, I cannot think of something that the files manager on Cosmic doesn't have. That, let's say, the KDE Plasma file manager does have Dolphin. There's a lot of things in Dolphin, so it might be a bit jarring, but on here, it seems like there's a majority of things to get things done. It seems pretty simple, and you should be able to use it pretty easily. I was taking up like screenshots before and like memory usage and stuff like that, and it did the job perfectly fine. And there's also a text editor, which is very simple. I'm pretty sure there actually is a decent amount of features in this, and a lot of people seem to enjoy this text editor. I don't really care about a text editor that much. I'm only gonna like open it if I want to like look at some maybe log of something that's crashed. I'm not really like someone who's going to like code or something like that and like muck around with config files or whatever. But it does do the job, and it has a decent amount of things here. I'll just show off some of the button options where you guys can look at it and just see if like some of the things you may know of like that are included that may make you think that this is actually like a decent text editor. I don't really know personally. It seems perfectly fine for me. It can do some Git management, I guess, which is pretty cool. You can open projects, you can open files, all that stuff seems to be included, and you should be able to do like most of the things, unless it's like small use cases where it may not be able to do that stuff. And well, there is the terminal, which does look really nice. It's really clean, it's very simple. Again, it's probably a bit feature incomplete. You can like change like the themes of it, which I'll show soon in the settings. It's pretty cool. And then also the last one is the Cosmic Store. Now the Cosmic Store is amazing. I would say it loads extremely fast. I would say even on this laptop, it loads really fast. And when it comes to searching, oh my god, as soon as you start typing, it instantly finds the application. Like instantly. It's actually crazy how fast you can search for an application and it will just find it. I've never experienced a store because I know on the Pop! OS on 2204, the pop shop GitHub or the who's it maintained by? One of the other older distros made a store and they forked it and then made it their own. I forgot what it's called. The elementary store. So they forked the elementary store and there was some issues with it. Like it's very stuttery. It takes a while to search, and like installing applications is a bit like it takes a little bit. But on here, it is amazing. It already has a great outline of like the application, which repo you're going to install, how many monthly downloads are on it, and it shows screenshots. And you're like, okay, let's install this application, for example. And my internet is rather not that fast. I only get like 140-ish down, so it does take a little bit to download. But when it comes to actually just like going around the store and clicking on applications and scrolling through, and the other thing is like there's no like advertisements as much. It's just like all the applications are there, so it's like you can see everything, and it's just really fast. Honestly, like even just searching around, like we just type Lutris or we type Steam, or just like it's just so fast at finding it. It's just insane. It's like probably the best GUI store I have experienced on Linux, besides something like I guess Discover or GNOME software. So really big props to the developers at System76 for creating such an awesome GUI store, because I think that's one of the most important things is when a new user decides to install Linux, they don't want to touch the terminal that much. And creating a good experience in the store is very important for that user so that they don't have to touch the terminal that much, or if at all, where they can just use GUI for the majority of things. Alright, I guess the next thing we'll show before we get to the customization stuff, we'll go to our displays. So as you can see, we're mirroring right now with a capture card. As you can see here, it's an XR1 Lite and it's capturing it at like 1080p or whatever, but it's going to like 1280 by 720. So it looks a bit blurry, I would say. And there is some lines showing up also, but because I just touched the capture card. But besides that, you can see, yeah, it's capturing it properly. And if we do go to my desktop here, and we can have a look at like my setup, I have 3 monitors plugged in. They're all 1080p. These two here are 144 hertz, and then this one is a 60 hertz, which is running HDMI, and then these two are DisplayPort, and it does work quite well, I would say. All right, and then if we go to the desktop, we can see there is a bunch of things here that we can do to customize Cosmic, and I would say that this is the perfect amount of customization that a user would want when it comes to the average user. It doesn't make it overcomplicated. It doesn't make it like where you have to go into a config file. You just go into your settings. You go to like your wallpaper, for example. Like this is pretty simple. Most desktop environments have that. But if we do go to like, let's say, if we go to wallpaper, we can add like folders, for example. That's one cool thing. You could just add a folder. So like on my main desktop here, if we go to displays, or go to desktop, we go to wallpaper. I've added my wallpapers folder, and I can just access my wallpaper folder, which I think is pretty cool. And of course, you can do a slideshow, and then wallpaper fit. We can do fill or fit screen. So then if we go back and we go to appearance, this is where we can get into a lot of different customization. And I feel like, and I'm pretty sure one of the developers, one of the designers of System76 was saying this on a podcast or at one of the Linux Fest things, where they were trying to base the customization similar to like Android kind of, where you have these like accent colors, and then you have these rather rounded corners, and you can do like round, slightly round, or square. So if we do select square here, it changes to like a very squarey look design, or slightly round, so it's more of like a kind of rectangular but with corners, or we can just do like fully rounded and it's very nice circular. And they try to make it like similar to Android, and I know they have a feature where it's going to like base the color off your wallpaper, so very similar to like what KD Plasma can do, where you can just have a wallpaper and then it will just grab like particular colors from the wallpaper and then use it on your desktop as the main color. And there is a light mode. Now, I would say a lot of people had a lot of controversy over the light mode. I think this looks perfectly fine in terms of a light mode. I would say that these applications down here do look extremely like the white looks, it's overexposing those applications. But besides that, it does look quite well. I don't know the controversy that much around the light theme. I would say it looks nice. It's like a grayish white, like a two-tone. tone of white, and it does look quite well in my eyes, but some people don't like it. I mean, that's perfectly fine. People just have personal preferences, and that's just how it is, I guess. And you can automatically switch between light and dark modes. We can go through the accent colors here, where we got these preset ones, which do work quite well. As you can see, it's switching through them easily, and we can create our custom one if we want to. So we could do a let's see here. Let's do a brown, because brown is a great color. Okay, I think that looks great, honestly. This brown poo color, perfect. That's what we're looking for here. So we can do you can change the application window background also. So we can change this, maybe it's like a blue, let's say. All right, now we're cooking. All right, now it's getting good. Oh my god, my eyes. Yeah, just saying, this theme looks absolutely terrible. I'm not cooking here at all. It looks absolutely atrocious. If we go to green for our interface text tint, and then we go to the control component, we change it to red. And then I guess we change our active window hint to, I don't know, orange. And look at that. I mean, blue and orange plus brown and then plus red. I mean, that looks great, wouldn't it? It looks great to me. And then we can also change the window management. We can go active window hint size and then the gaps around the tiled windows. So if we do enable tiling here, I'm pretty sure we can do Windows Super G. If we do tiled, Windows Super Y, Super Y to enable tiling, and we can change the gaps around the tiles if we want to, so we can increase this will make the window smaller, or we can make it really small. We just gotta wait for it to update. All these colors and things. Oh man, it must be struggling so much on this laptop right now. But if we do disable the tiling here and we do increase the active window hint size, then we can make this really thick. I mean, super thick if we want to. Man, doesn't that look great, guys? I would say that looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, looks fantastic. And then also we can go into the experimental settings, where we can apply GNOME app theming. So it'll apply CSS theming to GNOME applications. So for example, if you're running a launch bottles or something, if I go to my desktop here and if we do enable it, then we go to desktop, appearance, we scroll down, experimental, apply that, and we launch bottles. As you can see, it's matching the theme of this, which is very nice. All right, so now we're back on the best theme ever. We can also change the icon theme. So if you want to change it to, I don't know, let's say Ubuntu Mono Light, that's a interesting theme. I don't know if it will change the theme right now, or if we have to restart the computer. Maybe if you do humanity, maybe that will work, or maybe it's only some applications work with this. Yeah, only some applications, I see. So not all the applications are switched. I mean, these little icons down here, the folders, those have been switched over, and it's back to the Adwada theme for some of those icons. But it's looking pretty good, I would say. I'm really enjoying this theme that we've got going on here. I think it's great. And for all the annoyances here of trading this theme, if we just reset it here, if we just select, I guess we go reset to default. Oh, okay. Now we're cooking. It's back to the default. It looks great. So if we go into our panel options here, we can do a lot with the panel. We can position it on the top, on the left, on the right. You can really put it wherever you want. And some people were going crazy. They were creating multiple panels or multiple docks, which you can do, and you can stack them, and you really can just go wild and go nuts. You can do gaps between the panel and screen edges. You can extend the panel or not. So if we do this, then it's going to be a little one, which I actually really do like that. It just squishes everything together and then centers it. It does look quite nice, I would say. You can also switch the appearance of the panel and the dock, I'm pretty sure, to either light or dark. You can show on all displays or on one display. So on my desktop, for example, since we're only using the dock here, you can't turn off the panel. I would really like to turn off the panel. If any System 76 developers are watching, I would really like to turn off the panel, because all I want to use is the dock and then put the applets down the bottom, because what I have to do is just put my panel over onto my second monitor, which is no problem really, and then to either turn it onto auto hide, which I don't have it on right now to auto hide, but I just have it on my left monitor here, and I just leave it there. but I would like to turn it off. And of course, we can change the size here, so we can make this really big if we want to, or we can make it really small, which it suits your preference, or you can change the background opacity, so you can make it really transparent or not. It's really up to you. And then if we go into the panel applet sections, this is where you can customize applets. So if you want to, let's say you don't like the date and time in the middle, well, okay, let's just put it on the left side. There you go. Or we can put it on the end. That would be probably a little bit better. Yeah, so there you go. You can put it on the end, you can put it in the middle, you can put it on the right. You can add all different applets as well. You can do, like, if you want to move your applications up to the top onto the panel, you can do that. I'm pretty sure the app tray, as you can see, my apps are now on the top of the panel. We can add the launcher button, we can add the minimize windows, the number workspaces. You can add whatever you want. You can move them wherever you want. And I feel like that's one of the greatest things about this desktop is you can, with the applet specifically, where you can just move them around and you can just customize the way you want. It doesn't really restrict you necessarily, but it doesn't, it restricts you a good amount, I would say, but not so much that like you have to start installing extensions and all this other stuff like on the GNOME desktop. And then if you go to the docs section, this is very similar to the panel, except it's on the bottom. I guess some of the applets behave differently. So like the applications shows an icon, but on the panel it actually says application. So that's one little thing that's different about it, is the doc will just show an image instead of text, while the panel will. But as you can see, if you do extend doc to screen edges, there you go. If you want to add a gap to it, there you go. If you want to do that, that looks pretty nice. I really do like that. It's very macOS-y like. And then also you can configure the dock, so you can add different applets to it. You can really just make it your own. So like what I did was on my desktop, what I've done, if we go to desktops here, we go to dock, we go to configure dock applets, we can see that I've on the end segment, I've moved all the applets that would originally be on the panel, and I've moved them on the dock, and I put them on the right side, as you can see here, which they do show up properly or work properly, and you can easily look at that stuff. And then we do have the window management, so we can change the super key to open up a specific thing, either launcher, workspaces, or applications. I choose launcher. That's how I've always had it on. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I would usually do applications. That's how I usually have it on Pop! OS. When I usually install Pop! OS, is I choose open applications, and then you can change the window control. So if you don't like the minimize and maximize, and you're kind of like a GNOME user where you only want the cross to close an application, then you can easily just tick these off, and there you go. And the last thing is the users, which is invisible right now. It's not completed in the settings app application at the moment, so that'll be completed later down the line. And then we can go to the about section. So this will show you the device name, your hardware model, your memory, your processor, your graphics, your disk capacity, the operating system, the architecture, the desktop environment, and the windowing system. And then the other one is firmware, which is also not working currently, at least on my laptop. I don't know if it's feature complete or not. Or if it's just not detecting my laptop firmware and it's just not able to show it, but that's what it shows for me at least. And probably the other one I didn't show was the mouse and touchpad, which is pretty simple. There's a mouse speed, a mouse acceleration, a scrolling speed, a natural scrolling, primary buttons, so you can do left or right, and then on the touchpad it's very similar, but you can do click behavior, so you can do secondary click with 2 fingers and middle click with 3 fingers, secondary click in the bottom right corner and middle click in the bottom center. You can do tap to click, you can scroll with 2 fingers, you can scroll along the edge with 1 finger, you can do scrolling speed, natural scrolling, you can also do 4-finger swipe up or 4-finger swipe down. Now if you haven't noticed, not all the animations seem to be working currently right now. Everything either install launches, which is like really quickly, but some do have animations like minimizing and all that stuff has animations at the moment, but the majority of things are really like, they just instantly spawn, which some people may like that. I personally don't. I like to have a little bit of animation to the desktop. It just makes it feel a lot more simpler, a lot more smoother in my opinion. But if you do like the instant launching, that would be perfect for you. I think just if we go into like the games, like I've been maintaining a GitHub repo for the System76 developers where I've been testing different games on Cosmic, and so far the majority of games don't work on Cosmic. They either they launch properly but the cursor doesn't work, or the refresh rate is not shown properly in the game settings, or like I tested Nvidia for example, and I tried launching games and each game would just freeze when it full screened, but it would still run in the background, so you would hear the sound of the game, but the actual monitor, it would actually freeze the monitor instead of not just the game. It would actually destroy the monitor, and you would have to reboot your computer to get the monitor working again, so you can actually test more games. But I guess I'll show it off. If you have a look at this GitHub repo here that I've created, and I've tested like a bunch of different games, and the experience I've had when it comes to bugs, that's the experience that I've had. And I would definitely, if you are running Cosmic, please go to this GitHub repo so you can comment down below if there's any games that do work. And like, let's say I've reported it as not working, then I would comment down below and report, hey, this is working on this hardware, because each category does each manufacturer when it comes to GPUs. But as you can see, like for example, like Cyberpunk 2077, like I tagged it as it doesn't work because, well, the game can freeze if you spam tab out enough on AMD, but it doesn't work on Nvidia also because, well, Nvidia, when it full screens, it will just freeze as soon as it launches. But then you can see here that like Fallout 76 does work on AMD hardware, but not on Nvidia hardware, because Nvidia, it just freezes, but on AMD, it does launch properly, and the cursor does work, and the cursor doesn't escape. You know, like the game itself is showing the right resolution on the screen. It may not be the right refresh rate, it may cap the FPS also, but the game actually does work. And if you keep scrolling down through here, you can just see the plenty of games like Overwatch 2, for example. It used to work properly, but then I guess there's a regression coming because it doesn't work anymore. It says here, like I reported, it doesn't even launch anymore on both AMD and Nvidia. And then I said before that the cursor doesn't work with the UI in the game when switching the game to full screen or borderless as it launches in window mode. Also shows 60 Hz instead of the monitor refresh rate of my monitor, which is 144 Hz. And the other one, like XDefiant, the cursor doesn't work with the UI. But you have like little things like CS2 works, the Finals works, Halo Infinite works, Fallout 4 works, but only on like AMD hardware. Like on Nvidia hardware, it seemed to have a lot of problems. It might get fixed very soon, where the majority of these games will just launch properly, because the main thing that was happening here was the games were launching in full screen and they were just instantly freezing the whole monitor. And I have to restart my computer to restart the compositor to actually get the games working and launching properly. And then the other one is that, well, the compositor at the moment doesn't know what monitor is your main monitor. So when it comes to launching a game, a full screen game, for example, on application, it will launch wherever your cursor is. So if you launch Steam, for example, and my cursor is on my main monitor, well, Steam is going to launch my main monitor. If I make cursor on my second monitor, Steam will launch over there. And then if you launch a game, this is kind of the same with, like, I guess, GameScope. GameScope does a similar thing where wherever your cursor is, the game will launch on that monitor. So you just got to be wary of that. Like if you're launching a game, you have to quickly move your cursor over to your monitor that you want the game to launch on. So I forgot to add one more thing, which was in the appearance. You can import custom appearances if you want to, which is really easy to do. You can easily grab some online, like I did from Catpukin, I think it's called, if I'm saying that correctly. That person maintains a Cosmic theme, and you can go to like Cosmic settings here, and we can just pick a bunch here. So if we want to pick, let's say, Machatito, I think it's called, Macachito, I don't know how to say it, but here's the peach color, so you can see, there you go, that's working. We can change it again to something else, let's say like Frappe, that looks a bit more brighter, I would say, and it's nice and like pinky purple. You can really just like customize it as much as you want. Alright, one of the other things I forgot to add was the tiling, because this is a popular feature that I said that I really like. And if we do go down here, we can see that you can tile a current workspace. You can do the new workspace behavior, so you can either leave it floating or tiled. And then you can, it tells you here where you can navigate windows, you can move a window, and you can toggle a floating window. And you can have the active hint. So if you don't like that, you can disable it. And as you can see, the active hint is now gone. So if we want to, you know, tile an individual, we can do window Y or super Y, and that will activate actual tiling, as you can see. And we can easily just like move these around. So you can see it's very nice UI, I would say. And we can like even stack ones. We can just stack windows, and that will create a, you know, 2-window thing, which is very similar to Pop! OS's tiling on GNOME with the extension that they had. It's very similar. We can, you know, stack the windows, but you can also, you know, you can stack all of them if you want to, or if you want to break them off and then split it again, you can easily do that, or you can, you know, put it on the side, or you can move it over to a different workspace. And then you can also do like individual monitors also, where you can leave one floating or one tiled. So my conclusion with the Cosmic Desktop so far of the Alpha 1 version at least is that it is very feature incomplete, and it does have a decent amount of bugs as I've shown in this video that have randomly happened, either just not working correctly or, you know, about the games not launching properly. It's all a very big work in progress, and it is a rather small team. I think it's like 7 or 8 people, I think, that are working purely on the Cosmic Desktop. But the good thing about that is that these developers, they are getting paid, they are working for System 76, I'm pretty sure. So when it comes to, you know, actually improving the desktop, they can, you know, spend the majority of their time on the desktop, improving it, improving its code, and implementing new features and designs to actually just improve the desktop. And as other people have alluded to, I would say that this desktop, let's say in like even like 6 months from now, I would say, or a year or so, this desktop will 100% be a competitor against KDE Plasma and GNOME, and it will have probably similar features like VRR, HDR, better fractional scaling, better NVIDIA support, better Intel support, and AMD support, all around just a better support for the desktop. And I bet the majority of features will be implemented, and just the desktop will just be a really good contender for, you know, if I was going to recommend a Linux distro to someone, I would recommend Pop! OS, or I would recommend a distro like, you know, like Fedora, and then I would say, but install the Cosmic version of the Fedora spin that includes the Cosmic Desktop. That would be a really good, you know, contender for a new user to try out, because the experience so far with the first alpha of Cosmic Desktop is really good, and I definitely do see a future where this can be used for basically everything when it comes to a Linux user. So if you guys did enjoy this video, this video has gone up to around 41 minutes, I would say, of me yapping about the Cosmic Desktop. If you guys did enjoy it, definitely give it a like, and definitely subscribe to the channel. We are at like, I don't know, 5,500 something subscribers, I think, which is pretty cool. I thank you all for that, and thank you to my members. I'll show a screenshot up of you guys. Also, I really do appreciate you guys giving me money every month, even though it's not a lot. It's still appreciated, and I really do appreciate you guys. Will get this video early, I think a couple of hours early, depending if I can edit this video, because this is a 42-minute video right now, and I gotta squash it down, so it's probably going to take a while. But if you do receive it a couple of hours early, that is because you are a member of this channel. And also, thank you, System 76 developers, because honestly, I do like KDE Plasma, but I definitely do like Cosmic more, because it does look a lot more modern, and well, it is Rust, and people say Rust is good, and it's good for like memory safety or whatever, so that's cool. That's why I would say another reason why I like Cosmic. I like the design they're going in, all of that. So that's the end of the video. Peace.